Alright, so that chord progression came from the Creed song What's This Life For? And it features my next chord of the week lesson, which is the suspended second chord, or the Sus2 chord. So what exactly does that mean? I gotta explain a little bit of music theory here. So a lot of chords are built off of certain notes within the scale they come from. So I'll use the C major scale, for example. So the C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C. Okay, and the C major chord is built from that scale and uses the first note, the third note, and the fifth note of that scale. So it uses C, E, and G. Okay, those are the first note of the scale, the third note, and the fifth note. So what the suspended chord does is replaces the third with either the second or the fourth. So I'm going to talk about the suspended second today. So that would replace the third note with the second note, which would be D instead of E. Okay, so the notes of the C major chord, we have C here, E, G, okay, and then another C and an E in that C major chord. So the C sus2 has a C, the G, a C again, and here's the D instead of the E for the suspension, and then another G. Okay, so there it is. That's what it sounds like, C sus2. Alright, so let me show you how to make this C sus2 chord. Okay, and here it is. Here's what it looks like. We have a bar across the 3rd fret, the bottom 5 strings only, and then we have a note on the 5th fret of the D string and on the 5th fret of the G string. Alright, so here's my bar across the bottom 5 strings only. I'm not using the E string here. My ring finger is going to go right here on the 5th fret of the D string, and my pinky is going to go right underneath it on the G string on the 5th fret. Okay, and there is my bar and my C sus2. Okay, so the notes of this chord in order, we have the first string here, or the A string on the 3rd fret is C. Okay, then this note here is a G. There's another C. Here's that D for the suspension. And then the last chord, the last note is another G to give us that C sus2 chord that I just showed you. Okay, so how do you use this chord? It kind of, the suspended second chord and also the suspended fourth, they kind of create a tension that wants to pull back to the parent chord. So if I use C sus2 for my example, okay, he really wants to pull back to the major chord, C major. Hear that? C sus2, C major. Okay, you can also do it with the minor chord too. So if I have the C sus2, go to the minor chord, C minor, C sus2, C minor. Okay, and it kind of brings in a little bit of flavor into the song. So I can use this in a progression and use C sus2 to C major and then move to, say, G. Okay, so I just use C sus2, C major, to G. And that's one way to use them. It creates a little bit of flavor and tension and resolution within your chord progression. You can also take it and use suspended chords to embellish a chord and kind of create like a little chord solo within your music. So I'll do just a real easy one between C sus2 and C minor. And all I'm doing is I'm just adding my middle finger here on the 4th fret of the B string to make the minor chord. Okay, that was a bad chord, sorry. Okay, so you can use it to really take a chord and fiddle around with it a little bit. So what's also cool about this shape is that you can move it around to make other chords. So we have the 3rd fret here, the Csus2. Okay, so the chord is based or named off of the root note, which is the lowest note here. But if I move it to the, say, C here, we now have, or sorry, B, we now have B suspended 2nd. Okay, and that's the chord that's in the chord progression that I played at the beginning of this video. G, D, B sus2, C sus2, back to G. Okay, so there you go. C sus2, fiddle around with it, and enjoy.